Hey guys, welcome back to SLEEPDRIFT Tales. Tonight, we drift into another sleep story, this time beside a restless sea. The setting is a lonely lighthouse, a single beam of light turning through rain and darkness, while waves rise and fall against the rocks below. If you'd like, you can subscribe before we begin, and let me know in the comments, where in the world are you listening from? And what time is it for you right now? It's always calming to see this small community connected across distance and silence, each of us listening beneath a different night sky. This story isn't about shipwrecks or storms. It's about the quiet rhythm of duty, the keeper's steady watch, the slow turning of the lamp, and the endless voice of the sea. So settle in. Let the rain, the wind, and the brown noise surround you, and allow yourself to drift off slowly with this calm history from the shore. The story of the lighthouse and the night storm. Evening falls over the rocky coast. The lighthouse stands alone above the sea. Waves break softly against black stone. The keeper checks the lamp. He trims the wick carefully. He polishes the glass with a cloth. The cloth moves in slow circles. The glass becomes clear. He writes the time in a worn logbook. The sky darkens to grey. Then it darkens to night. The horizon disappears into shadow. The keeper walks to the window. He looks out at the water. The water is calm now. His footsteps echo on the stairs. The stairs are made of iron. They spiral upward in a narrow tower. His hand touches the cold railing. The railing is worn smooth by time. The faint hum of the sea rises. It fills the empty spaces. The sound is constant and low. The keeper returns to his small room. He lights a candle on the table. The flame flickers once and then steadies. He sits down in the wooden chair. The chair creaks beneath his weight. Outside the window, the clouds gather. They move slowly across the darkening sky. The wind has not yet arrived. The air is still and heavy. The storm begins far away. He opens the logbook again. He writes the date with careful letters. He writes the time beside it. The numbers are neat and small. This is what he does every evening. The keeper stands and walks to the door. He checks the latch. The latch is secure. He checks the windows. The windows are closed tight. Now he climbs the stairs once more. Each step is the same. Each step brings him higher. The tower is tall and narrow. The walls are thick and cold. At the top, he enters the lamp room. The lamp sits in the center. It is surrounded by glass and brass. The flame burns steady and bright. The lens turns in slow rotation. He adjusts the mechanism. The gears turn with quiet precision. The beam sweeps. Across the water, it cuts through the darkness. It marks the rocks below. The keeper watches the flame. He watches it for several minutes. The flame does not waver. The flame burns without sound. He writes another note in the logbook. He records the condition of the lamp. He records the clarity of the lens. He records the strength of the flame. These details matter. The sea below begins to change. The waves grow slightly larger. They strike the rocks with more force. The sound becomes louder. The keeper hears it through the glass. He looks toward the north. The clouds are darker there. They move toward the lighthouse. The storm is coming closer now. The keeper descends the stairs again. His boots make a steady rhythm, step after step after step. The sound echoes in the tower. The tower is mostly empty. He enters the small kitchen. He lights the stove. The stove is black iron. It heats slowly. He fills a pot with water. The water will boil in time. While he waits, he sits. He listens to the wind beginning. The wind touches the tower gently. It moves around the stone walls. It searches for cracks and openings. The keeper drinks tea from a metal cup. The tea is hot and bitter. He drinks it slowly. He looks at nothing in particular. The logbook sits open on the table. The pages are filled with entries. Every day looks the same notes, the same observations, the same careful handwriting. Time passes in the small room. The candle burns lower. The stove radiates warmth. Outside, the wind grows stronger. The first drops of rain appear. They strike the window gently. Tap, tap, tap. The keeper looks up. He watches the rain begin. The storm is arriving. He finishes his tea. He stands and stretches. His joints are stiff from sitting. He walks to the window once more. The rain falls harder now. The sky is completely dark. No stars are visible. No moon breaks through the clouds. Only the beam from the lighthouse. The beam turns and turns and turns. The keeper climbs the stairs again. He must check the lamp. He must ensure it continues. This is his duty. This is his purpose. At the top, the wind rattles the glass. The lamp burns bright. The mechanism turns smoothly. Everything is as it should be. The keeper nods to himself. He writes one more entry. He notes the arrival of rain. He notes the direction of wind. He notes the time once more. Then he closes the book. The night grows deeper. The storm gathers strength. The lighthouse stands firm. The light continues its patient work. The keeper prepares for the long night. He knows what is coming. He has seen many storms. This one will be the same. Wind and rain and darkness. But the light will not fail. The lamp will not go out. He will ensure this. He will remain awake. He will keep watch through the hours. Let the story continue. The lamp turns, and the night settles in. The wind arrives from the north. It comes across the open water. It gains speed over the waves. It strikes the lighthouse with force. The keeper hears it first in the walls, a low whistling sound. The sound grows louder. It whistles through cracks in the stone. It finds every opening. Rain strikes the windows in steady rhythm. The drops are cold and hard. They sound like small stones. The glass shakes slightly. The keeper watches from inside. He moves to the door. The door faces the sea. He checks the bolt. The bolt is heavy iron. He slides it into place. The door is secure now. The wind cannot open it. The rain cannot enter. The keeper turns away. He begins his climb. The spiral stairs are familiar. He has climbed them thousands of times. His hand follows the railing. The railing guides him upward. Metal is cold beneath his palm. Each step is the same. Each turn brings him higher. The tower sways slightly in the wind. The keeper does not notice. He is used to this. The sound of the sea rises. It roars beyond the cliffs. The waves crash against stone. The crashes come one after another. They create a constant thunder. At the top, the lamp room waits. The keeper enters carefully. He closes the door behind him. The wind is louder here. The glass panels vibrate with each gust. The lamp burns in the center. The flame is protected by glass. The glass is thick and clear. The flame does not flicker. The flame remains steady. The lens surrounds the flame. The lens is made of crystal. It magnifies the light. It focuses the beam outward. The beam turns in wide circles. The keeper watches the mechanism. Gears turn with precision. Weights descend slowly. The system is old but reliable. It was built to last. It has lasted many years. He opens the logbook again. He records the wind speed. He estimates it by sound, by the force against the walls. The numbers go into the book. Rain streams down the glass. It blurs the view outside. The keeper can see only darkness, only the reflection of the lamp, only his own shadow moving. The sea roars without end. The sound fills every corner. It fills the lamp room. It fills the keeper's mind. He listens to it carefully. The waves strike the rocks below. They explode into white spray. The spray rises high. It reaches toward the tower. Then it falls back down. The keeper checks each window. He looks for cracks. He looks for leaks. Everything remains sealed. Everything remains intact. The tower is strong. He sits on the small stool. The stool stands beside the lamp. He watches the flame burn. He watches the lens turn. This is his vigil. This is his night. Outside, the storm rages. The wind screams around the tower. It batters the stone walls. It tears at the roof. But the tower does not yield. The keeper takes out his pocket watch. He opens the brass cover. The hands show the hour. Time passes slowly during storms. Each hour feels longer than the last. He winds the watch carefully. 3 full turns. The mechanism clicks softly. He closes the cover. He returns the watch to his pocket. The lamp continues its rotation. The beam cuts through rain. It cuts through darkness. It reaches out across the water. It warns the ships away. No ships sail tonight. No ship would risk these waters. The storm is too strong. The waves are too high. The rocks are too dangerous. But the light must shine. This is the rule. This is the law. The keeper's duty does not change. The lamp must burn through every storm. He stands and walks round the lamp. He inspects it from all sides. The brass fittings gleam. The glass is clean. The flame burns bright and true. The keeper adds oil to the reservoir. The oil flows thick and dark. The reservoir holds enough for hours. He must add more before dawn, but not yet. He sits again. He rests his hands on his knees. His breathing is slow and steady. The sound of the storm becomes familiar. It becomes almost peaceful. Rain hammers against the glass. Wind howls without pause. The sea crashes far below. These sounds blend together. They create a kind of music. The keeper's eyes grow heavy, but he does not sleep. He cannot sleep during storms. He must remain alert. He must watch the lamp. Time drifts slowly. Minutes pass like hours. Hours pass like minutes. The keeper loses track. Only the watch tells the truth. Only the watch measures time correctly. He opens it again. Another hour has passed. He makes a note. He records the time in the logbook. The numbers march down the page. The storm shows no sign of ending. It rages with constant fury. The wind pushes against the tower. The rain never stops. This will continue for hours more. The keeper accepts this. He has accepted it many times before. He settles into his chair. He watches the lamp turn. He listens to the storm sing. Now the night storm has begun. The light turns and the wind screams on. Inside the lamp room, the air is still. It smells of oil and salt. The oil comes from the lamp. The salt comes through cracks. The two smells mix together. The flame burns behind the lens. It creates dancing shadows. The shadows move across the walls. They follow the rotation of the beam. The keeper watches them absently. The sound of wind fills every corner. It is not just noise. It is presence. It surrounds the keeper. It presses against the tower. It demands attention. The keeper stands and stretches. His back is stiff. His legs are tired. He has been sitting too long. He walks in a small circle. The lamp room is not large. A few steps in each direction. That is all the space there is. The lamp takes most of the room. The keeper moves around it carefully. He returns to his chair. He sits down again. The wooden seat is hard. His body has shaped it over years. It fits him now. It is familiar. The keeper opens the journal. He records the time once more. He looks at his watch. He writes the numbers. The pen scratches on paper. He notes the speed of wind. He estimates it again. 40 miles per hour, perhaps more. The tower shakes with each gust. He writes this observation down. He notes the direction of wind, north by northwest. It has not changed. It remains constant. This is typical for winter storms. They blow from the same direction. Numbers repeat with quiet precision. Temperature, pressure, wind, time. The same categories every hour. The same careful recording. This is the keeper's work. Inside there is only steadiness. Only the ticking of the clock. Only the turning of the lamp. Only the keeper's breathing. These sounds create calm. The keeper closes his eyes. He does not sleep. He simply rests. He listens to the storm. He listens to the lamp. He listens to time passing. The clock ticks on the wall. Tick, tick, tick. Each second the same. Each second measured. Each second counted. Time moves forward always. The keeper opens his eyes. He looks at the flame. The flame has not changed. It burns with the same intensity, the same color, the same shape. He checks the oil level. The reservoir is half full. This is acceptable. He will add more later. There is time. There is always time. The wind howls outside the glass. It sounds like voices. It sounds like singing. The keeper knows these are only sounds. Only the wind playing tricks. He is not fooled. He has heard these sounds before. Every storm brings them. The wind makes strange music. It mimics human voices. It creates melodies, but it is only wind. The keeper writes another entry. He notes nothing unusual. Everything is as expected. The lamp functions properly. The tower stands firm. The storm continues. His handwriting is neat and small. Years of practice show. Each letter is formed carefully. Each word is legible. Future keepers will read these entries. They will know what happened. They will see the careful records. The lamp continues its patient rotation. The mechanism never tires. The gears turn smoothly. The weights descend at perfect speed. Everything works as designed. The beam sweeps across the darkness. It illuminates rain. It shows nothing else. The darkness is complete. The night is total. Only the light exists. The keeper stands again. He walks to the window. He looks out into the storm. He sees his own reflection. He sees the lamp reflected. He sees nothing beyond. The glass is covered with water. Streams run down the panes. They create patterns. The patterns shift and change. The keeper watches them. They are almost hypnotic. He turns away. He checks the lamp once more. This is habit. This is routine. He checks it every few minutes. He cannot help himself. Everything remains perfect. The flame burns. The lens turns. The light shines outward. His duty is fulfilled. The ships are warmed. The rocks are marked. The keeper sits down again. He pulls his coat tighter. The lamp room is cold. The wind finds every gap. Cold air seeps inside. The keeper does not mind. He has lived with cold. He has lived with wind. He has lived with isolation. These things are normal now. These things are his life. Time passes in the small room. The keeper keeps his vigil. He records. He watches. He waits. This is what he does. This is all he does. The storm rages on. The night deepens. The hours accumulate. The keeper remains awake. He remains alert. He remains faithful to his task. The light continues its patient rotation. The flame burns, and the vigil goes on. The rain softens for a moment. The change is sudden. The keeper notices immediately. He has been listening for hours. His ears are trained. The wind decreases slightly. It drops from howling to moaning. The difference is clear. The keeper stands. He walks to the window. He looks outside. The darkness seems different now, less violent, less angry. The storm's center passes overhead. This is the eye. This is the calm. The keeper makes a note. He records the time. He records the change. The eye has arrived. It will not last long. He knows this. He descends the stairs carefully. His legs are stiff. He holds the railing tightly. Each step echoes. The tower is quiet now. The wind no longer screams. He reaches the door. He unbolts it. The bolt slides back heavily. He pulls the door open. Cold air rushes in. The keeper steps outside with a lantern. The lantern swings in his hand. The flame inside dances, but it does not go out. The air is nearly still. Mist wraps around the tower. It is thick and grey. It moves slowly. It drifts like smoke. The keeper can see only a few feet. Everything beyond disappears. He walks the small stone path. The path circles the tower base. The stones are wet and slippery. He places each foot carefully. He does not hurry. The waves crash below like thunder. Even in the eye, the sea remains angry. The waves have momentum. They cannot stop immediately. They pound the rocks still. The keeper reaches the edge. He stands at the low wall. The wall is made of stone. It comes to his waist. He looks down toward the water. Sea spray touches his face. It is cold and salty. It stings his skin. He does not wipe it away. He simply stands. He simply listens. The ocean breathes slowly again. The rhythm has changed. The waves come less frequently. They are still large, still powerful, but less chaotic now. The keeper raises his lantern. He looks out into the mist. He sees nothing, only grey, only fog, only the faint sound of water. He walks further along the path. His boots scrape on stone. Water drips from the tower above. It falls in steady drops. Drip, drip, drip. The mist parts for a moment. The keeper sees a glimpse of sky. Stars shine briefly overhead. The stars are clear and bright. Then the mist closes again. The air is still and heavy. It presses down. It feels thick to breathe. The keeper fills his lungs slowly. The air tastes of salt, of rain, of the sea. He continues his circle. He inspects the tower base. He looks for damage. He looks for cracks. He sees nothing unusual. The tower has survived. The tower always survives. The calm will not last. The keeper knows this well. The eye will pass. The storm will return. The second half is coming. It will be as strong, perhaps stronger. He completes his circle. He returns to the door. He looks back once more. The mist swirls slowly. The sea crashes somewhere below. The sound is muffled now, distant and strange. The keeper enters the tower. He closes the door. He bolts it again. The bolt slides home. He is safe inside. He climbs the stairs slowly. His lantern lights the way. Shadows dance on the walls. The shadows grow and shrink. They follow him upward. In the lamp room, nothing has changed. The flame still burns. The lens still turns. The light still shines. The keeper feels relieved. He always feels relieved. He sets down his lantern. He returns to his chair. He opens the logbook. He writes about the eye. He describes the mist. He notes the brief calm. He checks his watch. 20 minutes have passed. That is typical. The eye moves quickly. The storm will return soon. Very soon. The keeper looks out the window. The mist still surrounds the tower. It glows slightly. The lamp illuminates it from above. It creates a strange light, a ghostly light. Then the wind returns. It begins as a whisper. Then it grows. It rises to a moan. Then to a howl. The second half has arrived. The rain returns with it. It hammers the glass once more. The brief calm is over. The storm continues. It rages again with full force. The keeper makes another note. He records the end of the eye. He records the return of wind. The numbers go in their columns. Everything is documented. He settles into his chair. He prepares for more hours. The night is not over. The storm will continue. He will continue his watch. The lamp turns steadily. The beam cuts through rain again. It cuts through darkness. It marks the rocks below. It warms the empty sea. The keeper closes his eyes briefly. He listens to the storm. He listens to the lamp. He listens to his own breathing. These sounds comfort him. Time resumes its slow passage. Minutes accumulate. Hours build. The storm rages without mercy. The keeper maintains his vigil. This is his life. This is his purpose. The light turns, and the storm returns to its fury. The darkness begins to fade. The change is gradual. The keeper notices the window first. The black becomes grey. The grey becomes lighter. By morning, the sea grows calm. The waves decrease in size. They still crash against the rocks, but the sound is softer now, less violent, less angry. Broken clouds drift across the pale sky. They move quickly. They are torn and ragged. The storm has broken them apart. They scatter in all directions. The keeper stands at the window. He watches the sky change. He has been awake all night. His eyes are tired, but he must finish his work. The light still burns above the cliffs. It is less visible now. Dawn diminishes its power, but it continues to shine. The keeper will not extinguish it, not yet. He descends the stairs one more time. His body aches. His legs are stiff. His back is sore. Each step requires effort, but he continues down. He reaches the bottom. He opens the door. The morning air is cold and fresh. It smells of rain, of salt, of wet stone. The keeper steps outside. The mist has lifted. He can see clearly now. The sea stretches to the horizon. The horizon is visible at last. The rocks below are covered with foam. White foam clings to black stone. The waves wash it away slowly. New foam replaces it. The cycle continues. Debris lies scattered on the shore. Seaweed, driftwood, broken shells. The storm has left its marks. The keeper surveys the damage. There is not much. The tower stands unchanged. The walls are intact. The windows are whole. The door is secure. The lighthouse has survived another storm, as it always does. The keeper walks the path again. Morning light shows what darkness hid. The stones are cracked in places. Moss grows in the cracks. Water pools in low spots. He completes his inspection. Everything is satisfactory. Nothing requires immediate repair. The keeper nods to himself. He returns to the door. Inside, he climbs the stairs once more. This will be his final climb. For now, his legs protest, his muscles burn, but he reaches the top. The lamp room is bathed in daylight. The flame seems weak now, pale compared to the growing light. The keeper approaches the lamp carefully. He adjusts the mechanism. The lens slows its rotation. He reduces the flame gradually. The flame grows smaller. The light dims. Finally, he extinguishes it completely. Smoke rises briefly, then dissipates. The lamp is dark now. Its work is finished. It has done its duty. The keeper writes his final notes. He opens the logbook one last time. He records the end of the storm. He records the time of sunrise. He notes the condition of equipment. His handwriting is less neat now. Fatigue shows in the letters. But the information is complete. Everything is documented. The record is preserved. He closes the logbook gently. The cover makes a soft sound. He places it on the shelf. The shelf holds many logbooks, years and years of entries, all the same. The storm has ended. The keeper allows himself to feel tired. He has held it back all night. Now he can acknowledge it. His body is heavy. His mind is slow. The silence feels wide and endless. After hours of howling wind, after hours of crashing waves, the silence is startling. It is almost uncomfortable. But the keeper welcomes it. He listens to the quiet. He listens to the dripping water. That is the only sound now. Water dripping from the tower. Water dripping from the rocks. He looks toward the horizon. The sun is rising behind clouds. The clouds glow pink and orange. The colors reflect on the water. The water shimmers with light. A bird calls somewhere. The keeper hears it clearly. He has not heard birds in days. The storm kept them away. Now they return. The keeper removes his coat. He folds it carefully. He places it on the chair. He stretches his arms. He rolls his shoulders. His body is stiff but functional. He descends the stairs slowly. He will rest soon. But first he must complete his duties. He must clean the lamp. He must refill the oil. He must prepare for the next night. This is the routine. This is the pattern. Every storm is the same. Every morning after is the same. The keeper knows what to do. He works methodically. He cleans the glass of the lamp. He polishes each lens. He checks each fitting. His movements are automatic. His hands know the work. Time passes slowly. The morning deepens. The sun rises higher. Light fills the tower. The darkness is gone completely now. The keeper finishes his work. He climbs to his small room. He sits on his narrow bed. He removes his boots. They are heavy and wet. He lies back on the bed. The mattress is thin. The pillow is flat, but they are comfortable to him. He closes his eyes. He allows himself to rest. Outside, the sea continues its eternal rhythm. Waves rise and fall. Waves crash and retreat. This will never stop. This will never change. The lighthouse stands above it all. Silent now, dark now, but ready, always ready. When night comes again, the lamp will burn. The light will shine. The keeper will keep watch. This is how it has always been. This is how it will always be. The lighthouse, the keeper, the sea, the light. Only the sound of dripping water remains. Time passes slowly. The lamp fades, and the sea drifts into sleep.